Hi everybody. I wasn't able to get to this in class on Monday because our conversation was going so well. I didn't really want to interrupt it, and I thought we were doing well. This really builds, and I'm going to try and keep this brief, maybe 15 minutes. But this follows from the conversation we had about the 1619 project, plus the conversation we had about the slave trade itself. So you guys are going to see as we go through this the dominant story about the slave trade. In the same way with the 1619 project, the dominant story is America did slavery, that sucked, but America, through its values and all that kind of stuff, evolved and got rid of slavery, and we're free today. We're moving in the right direction, arc of history, all that kind of stuff. America's super awesome. The main line, the way of talking about that at the global level is the same exact thing, is that yes, there was slavery, and yes, Britain and other countries were involved in this, but Britain evolved and helped everyone else evolve, and they got rid of slavery, and it isn't Britain awesome? So we got that main story. I want to talk about the other story, sort of, again, the analogy being the 1619, but this one goes a little bit further back. So let's just get after this. There's this guy named Eric Williams. Eric Williams wrote this book, really famous book, called Capitalism and Slavery in 1944. He ends up becoming the first prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago in 1962. It's really a part of the decolonization group of people, or post-colonialism. The group of people within the colonies that said, colonialism sucks, we need to break away. Not Britain saying, or France saying, here you go, you're free, but we need to get free. And he was also a scholar, an economist and a sociologist. He wrote this book, Capitalism and Slavery. So let's just walk through it. It's going to be 2 slides, and then we're going to look at the more sort of recent version of it. The argument, so he's going to, again, highlight this British historiography of slavery that I just highlighted, which was essentially, yes, Britain participated in slavery and the slave trade. They evolved through humanitarian impulse to reject, abolish slavery. Hooray, Jesus told us abolition sucks, other reasons why, and essentially abolition sucks. Slavery sucks, so we need to do abolition. And then Britain actively worked to end slavery and the slave trade globally. Hooray. This is the standard story. We're going to see this as we go through this. And it's technically not wrong. Any more than the 1619 project is essentially saying it's wrong that America got rid of slavery. It did get rid of slavery. It's just not exactly the sort of celebratory story that it is the case. So his argument is an economic argument. It's got a little Marxism in it. I'm not going to lie to you. The British abolished slavery and the slave trade because it was no longer profitable. This is the argument that he makes about this. Britain had profited from slavery, and now it no longer profited from it for a variety of reasons. For example, in the early 19th century, Britain's new sort of motto becomes free trade. And we're going to talk about this as the semester goes on, so don't worry about that. But for now, free trade's the best thing. We need to, get the government out of these economic things. And one of the things that means then is other countries need to, we're not going to benefit from slavery anymore. So in order for free trade to work, we need to make sure everybody else doesn't benefit from free trade either. This becomes sort of not the humanitarian, it's right, or it's wrong to do slave trade, but the economic argument of that's an unfair economic advantage if you use slavery. So in Eric Williams' sort of idea of this, the abolitionists were hypocrites who were basically just mouthpiece for new industrial interests. There was an economic movement, a business movement that was saying again, that slavery is no longer necessary, so it's justified then, and then all the government interventions to stop slavery justified from a humanitarian standpoint. The bottom line of this, and I'm taking this large argument and reducing it down to a couple slides. The economics drove what was believed to be right and not the reverse. All right, I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to talk to you about this guy named Robert Drayton. And he's going to take Eric Williams to the next sort of level and sort of modernize the argument.